depth. Cyriel Dessers, right? I don't even know where to begin. I feel like this has been the Cyriel Dessers podcast this season because we've talked about him so much. But 25 goals now. I thought it was a really good goal. Really clever
His goal was
finish.
terrific.
It was terrific goal.
And there was about 3 touches which allows him to sort his feet out to get the shot away, and they were all terrific.
Aye.
From collecting Diamandi's pass, realising that Czerny was stepping it over in the first place, getting onto it, controlling it, touch, bang, shot.
Aye.
It was brilliant striker play. And then in the second half, he's a fresh air swipe when he's probably, well positioned to. But that's Cyriel Dessers all over. That's just Cyriel Dessers doing Cyriel Dessers things.
If you're the Rangers manager next season, Mick, do you keep Cyriel Dessers?
Absolutely. Listen, I think when you get away from this Cyriel Dessers thing, he scored a great goal, had a few more chances. That's every striker in the world, by the way. Jackson made us missed a sit on the last minute and scored. You don't get to hear the same rhetoric. Listen, Alan McCoy used to miss 4 chances and score the last one. This is what strikers do. They put themselves in position, they miss chances and they score chances. Dessers has missed too many big chances at big moments in big games. I get that. But for what they paid for him and what he does in terms of goals, I mean, he's value for money. I don't think you build a team around him, but you certainly keep him. He's a goal scorer.
You keep him in the squad, Mick. But
absolutely.
If you start next season with Cyriel Dessers as your main number 9, your main goal threat, the focal point for your attack, you're going to come up short.
Keith, I'll spin it this way, right? Listen, I thought Idah was okay today. He scored a good goal. Another one, a couple of chances as well. If you're a Celtic fan, would you take Cyriel Dessers ahead of Idah right now?
That's a big question.
There you go.
Would you, Mick?
I think, would I? Listen, I think there's more growth potential in Idah. I think he's 23. I think he can be coached. So I think there's more potential on him. So I would take Idah on the perhaps on the potential aspect of it. But in terms of man for man, in terms of who would you put your hat on scoring the goal or making the pass, I don't think you can write off Cyriel Dessers. I think the kind of rhetoric is built up in a few missed chances in the last season and some big chances missed this season as well. But over the piece, he does score a lot of goals, and he's now scored against times.
I'll see you that, Mick, and I'll raise you, and I'll say neither of them will start next season as first choice number 9 for either club.
Yeah, I would go along with that. But what I'm saying is that
handy guys to have around.
The narrative around Cyriel Dessers, I think, is really to build up and stay there. And I think it's a wee bit kind of harsh on the big fella. He's never had. He always puts himself in the frame for chances. Listen, got to admire him. He's like Teflon. It doesn't seem to get upset when I miss a chance. No. And occasionally he'll stick one in the back of the net, like today. There's another good finish from him. So I think he's definitely. I mean, what was it cost? £4.5 million quid. It's not an insignificant amount of money, but to get a guy that scores 25 goals a season for £4 million quid, I mean, it's like anyone you buy for that kind of money is going to be a gamble. And he's already done it. He scored more than 50 goals for Rangers in 2 seasons.
No.
So I think people should maybe lay off him a wee bit. I get why he's frustrating, but I think he deserves a bit more respect than he's been getting, I think, this season.
We mentioned Idah there, and we've got plenty of comments coming in. If you want to get involved in the discussion, please send your comments in and we'll react to it. Paul says Celtic need a new striker in the summer. Mikey says throwing Johnny Kenny on at the end shows Celtic need another striker in the summer. I think Rodgers prefers Idah off the left. I was like you, Mick. I thought Idah did quite well today. Got his goal. But there's just something about him that just doesn't quite convince.
Idah.
No, sorry, Adam Idah.
Nah, you know what my problem is with Adam Idah, and I think he's got all the tools, all the attributes. He's got the physicality. He's powerful. He's got a good he's rapid over 5 yards, and you saw the way he made the space. There was a little turn for his goal. He got fortunate with the goal, takes a big deflection, but he did really well to create that opportunity for himself. So there's so much about Adam Idah. There's so much going for him. But it doesn't seem to me to be all that bothered about whether or not he gets the best version of himself. And I'm afraid at a club like Celtic, you're not going to survive. You're certainly not going to hold down a starting place. And I sometimes wonder about him. Is he that bothered if he's holding down a starting place or not? I'm not sure. I'm not seeing the hunger and desire. And we're talking, you make the comparison, or Mick does, about Dessers and Idah. All day long, you know what you're going to get from Cyriel Dessers in terms of application and work rate. And, You know, you can't ever accuse him
He'll run himself
of
into the
not
ground,
going to
right?
his work.
Aye.
Adam Idah, I think you can frequently look at him and say, you could be given so much more. And
But-
that was another case in point today from Idah. Yes, he got his goal, he did okay, but I'm looking for more from
But this is
Celtic
all.
number 9.
This is also a guy that scored 6 goals in his last 9 games. I mean, so
Aye,
we're
19,
holding-
19 for the season now as well.
19, so we're holding these guys to a very, very high standard. He said he scored 6 and 9 at the business end of the season to get Celtic over the line. Again,
It's 19 in 53 games though.
yeah.
It's not,
but
I mean, it's still
take the
good.
point.
But
I take the point in terms of strikers that have been around before for Celtic. You look at Kyogo before him and guys going down the line. And, is he as sharp as some of these guys? Perhaps not. And some of these goals might have came in games when the game's been kind of petering out or it's off the bench. So I take that point as well. And I'm chucking an Ireland, I go Ireland as well in that 9 games. But it has got held to high standard. I think that the wage. I mean, if Adam Idah cost £2 million, nobody would bat an eyelid. Because he costs £9 million, people are saying he should be scoring 35 goals a season and winning matches on his own. So it's perception. It's not his fault it cost that. It wasn't his fault Celtic blinked last January and had to pay over the odds to get him. And I still think there's growth potential in him. But then you see the chance before Rangers scored, he's through on goal with a big chance to go 1-0 up right on half time. Misses the chance and then Rangers got the part and score. So that is what you get from him. But sometimes, likewise, Dessers at the other side. They're actually fairly similar in a lot of ways.
Are you happy with his work rate, Mick? Adam Idah?
I don't think it's a work rate problem. Do you know what? I spoke to Andy Townsend down at Villa Park back in January about him because he'd watched him a lot with Ireland and followed his career. And he said he's got all the tools, he's got the size, the speed, the physique, he can finish. He's an actual finisher, doesn't think about it. But he wanted to see him a wee bit nastier. And I think he was right. I think he needs to see a wee bit more nastiness, a bit more greediness, a bit more kind of aggression from him. He's a nice big fella, and that's maybe going against him a wee bit. He got to be a wee bit more of a mean streak about him.
He needs a rocket up his backside.
A wee bit.
He needs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He needs a wee bit more aggression about his game. Whether or not he can coach that, I don't know. I don't think he can flick a switch or motivate a player. I don't know, but I just think he's a wee bit too nice at the moment. But he's got the toolboxes all there for him.
That's it completely. But this is what I'm saying, Mick, and I've said it previously. You're going to your training every day and you're looking at the standards and the intensity being set by your Callum McGregors, Dyson Midas, James Foss, all these guys. You would like to think, and you've seen it, and I've seen guys like Alistair Johnson, walks in through the door, completely plugs into it, gets it, and understands he's going to have to. It's 100%,
Be at that level.
or you're just not going to cut the mustard in this company. And it just comes across. And maybe I'm being dead harsh, and maybe he is just a nice big laid back fella, but he's just a bit too lacklustre.
we've got people coming to the defence of Adam Idah. John says Idah's scored some very good goals in the Champions League this season too, don't forget. 1967 says Idah's scored in cup finals, Champions League, Glasgow derbies. He's hardly started half a dozen games, given the credit he's due. And Gary simply says that Idah criticism is getting a bit boring now, Keith. Sorry, Gary, we'll try and entertain you more as the show goes on.
I'm criticising everybody.